All right, so my name is Virginia Williams, and today I'm going to be doing an interview with an educator. I'll let her introduce herself, but she's just going to give us just a little in-depth look of what she does on a regular basis and how she feels about the field of education. Okay, so why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what grade you teach and how you started your teaching career.
Okay, my name's Misty Proctor. I teach first grade. I actually started working with birth to 3-year-olds who have special needs,
Okay.
and I did that for 19 years before I was like, you know what, I'm missing out, and I went into the classroom.
Okay.
So I spent 2 years in EC, and now I've been in first grade for 4 years.
4 years. So of all those areas that you have taught in, which is your favorite, or which do you prefer? Do you prefer the pre-K, or do you prefer where you are now, or EC? Which?
I prefer first grade. I
First
love
grade.
watching kids learning to read.
Okay. So why? What was your main reason? Why did you choose to become a teacher, and where did you go to receive your education?
Okay. My undergraduate is very many years ago. Is from Western Carolina University.
Okay.
And it was in child development, family relations. And then I entered through, well, we called it lateral entry then, but
Mhm.
I think it's residency now.
Yeah.
And I went through ECU through their teaching program and got my certificate and my license. And I'm currently at ECU in a Master's of Reading and Literacy.
Okay.
So I chose to go into the classroom because I really enjoy working with children and I love helping them
Okay.
and I love watching them learn.
Okay. What made you decide to go further and do the masters?
Well, during COVID,
Okay.
we really struggled in reading. I think a lot of it was the wearing masks and distance from children and not being a natural way of learning. But at the same time, I felt like I missed out on a lot of those classroom type instructions, and I went back so that I could be a better teacher of reading
Okay.
because that is kind of my passion in teaching.
That's your passion. That's important. So, what would you say is the most rewarding aspect of teaching?
The most rewarding part is watching them learn,
Okay.
watching them go from being a novice to a reader, and seeing the excitement when they realize that they can actually put things, string words together. And
And I can tell by the way you're talking that you enjoy that part. So, what would you consider the most challenging part of your
The
job?
most challenging thing is the behaviors.
Okay.
Our school has a lot of kids who've been through some traumas and have a lot of challenging behaviors, and trying so many different things until you can figure out what works, and then it doesn't work next week, and so you're trying something else.
So those events, those challenging events that you've had, what would you consider what has worked best in those challenging situations?
My most success has come through using check-in sheets and
Okay.
kind of tracking their day or having them work to earn a prize.
Okay.
It could be a stamp, it could be a sticker, or it could go to a prize box.
I'm
So
sure that means a lot in first grade. So, as far as your communication and your relationship with parents, how is that? How do you make sure that you have that relationship? How do you build those relationships with parents? What do you-
love happy parents, and I
Oh,
love
yeah.
happy people, period. So
Oh, yeah.
all of us are connected on Class Dojo. We do we keep class stories going. We also do individual messaging back and forth. My parents all know that they're welcome in my classroom. I do phone calls. We do positive calls home, and anytime we have a concern, I call a parent,
Right. Have
check
there
in
been-
with them.
Have there ever been a time where you have a challenge with building a connection with the parent?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a parent where I call, they get a new number, and the next day the number nobody answers,
Right.
and so I end up going to the house, but there's other factors involved, very challenging factors. So the parent's not really committed to the school because they have so much other stuff that is
Yeah.
coming in front of it,
Yeah.
and trying to work through that is a challenge. And all you can do is make sure you're feeding them the most positive amount of information you can,
What you're supposed to.
so that when you do need them for something, that they know you have a good aspect about their child as well.
Gotcha. All right. So what would you consider to be your teaching style?
I guess I'm kind of all over the place.
Okay.
I like to be very animated. I like to be very visual. And I put a lot of different scaffolding and differentiation into mine, because what works for one kid is not going to work for every kid. We try to make sure there's like multiple ways to solve problems. There's no one way to ever fix something, so that they're really getting that critical thinking. I really like having them up close and personal, kind of gathered around the panel or gathered around where we're learning for the majority of the day. And we use our tables when we need to practice writing, and
Okay.
partners, and
So of that teaching style, would you think your personality plays a big part in your teaching style? Do you think that's
Absolutely.
important? Why do you think that's?
I think your attitudes and beliefs really transfer into your children. And I mean, it's just like making sure that you have a good culturally responsive classroom, and that you're making sure you're aware of any biases that you have, any personality issues you have, is like a key part in providing for your kids. And making sure you know who you are as an individual, because the way you are may not work for someone else. So being able to be aware of you, but also letting children come with their own identities, and making sure that you're not clashing through those is really important to me.
Okay. Well, I can feel your passion, and I know you personally, so I know your passion for teaching, and it shows in your personality and everything that you do. So, with that being said, do you feel that you've had success in the education field? Do you think you have made an impact on the children
Yes.
that you have taught?
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be somebody you're like, I wish we could have just gotten this little bit more done, but this year I feel like has been my most successful year, where I've really seen so much growth. And
That's good.
this is the first year I've been in first grade that we haven't had pandemic going on.
Yeah.
And I can really see a difference in our kids. Really making sure that we're up on the latest research, heavy in science and reading right now. And my master's in reading and literacy as well is helping me see how to become better, but it's also giving me more success in what children are doing.
And that's what it's about, right? So, 10 years from now, do you still see yourself
Oh,
being a
yes.
teacher? You do?
Yes.
Okay.
I love first grade, and I could see myself retiring way down the road in first
Okay.
grade.
Okay.
But I've been asked to move over to kindergarten next year, so it's going to be a new learning experience.
Okay, I'm sure
but
you did.
sure, we'll try that out and see. I still see myself working in the primary grades.
So, no middle grades, high school, not in your
No middle school.
not in your vision. Okay.
No middle school.
I completely
No high
understand.
school. I have a lot of
I
respect for those people.
I understand that.
But potentially could go into leadership and literacy, but I really feel a good fit in the classroom at this time.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much all my questions I have. I really want to thank you for sitting down and giving us a few minutes and telling us all about you. And I wish you much more success and just keep doing what you're doing.
Good luck to you
Thank
in
you.
your journey as well.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, that's all we have, and
Bye.
that's it.